You've been told your whole life that hard work is the answer. Wake up early, stay late, grind harder than everyone else, and someday it'll all pay off. But what if that's the biggest lie you've ever believed? Because right now, millions of people are working harder than ever and still falling behind. Bills pile up, savings vanish, time slips away, and deep down, you start to wonder, what am I doing wrong? The truth is, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You're just playing a game that changed, but no one gave you the new rules. And until you learn them, no amount of effort will get you ahead. This video isn't about working harder. It's about working right. It's about finally understanding how the system really works, so you can stop running in circles and start moving with purpose. So if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right but still not getting anywhere, stick around till the end because by the time we're done, you'll know exactly how to flip that story. And hey, if any of this already hits home, go ahead and drop a like. That way I'll know I'm not the only one who's been through it. The trap of endless effort. You wake up early, go to work, push through deadlines, and tell yourself that hard work always pays off. Yet somehow, your life still feels stuck in neutral. It's like running on a treadmill. You're sweating, moving, exhausted, but the scenery never changes. Most people don't realize this isn't laziness or bad luck. It's a silent trap built into how we're taught to chase success. The harder you run without direction, the deeper you sink into exhaustion. And that's where most people unknowingly live, between effort and emptiness. The truth is, society trained you to believe that effort alone is noble, that working harder automatically means getting ahead. But if that were true, the most exhausted people would be the wealthiest. Look around. Some of the hardest workers barely make it through the month, while others seem to climb effortlessly. That's not a coincidence. It's a symptom of a system that rewards clarity, not just endurance. And until you see that, you'll keep confusing motion with progress. Think of it like this. Rowing a boat with all your strength means nothing if you're pointed in the wrong direction. I've met people who grind every day, juggling 2 jobs, yet never feel safe, not because they lack effort, but because they lack strategy. They've been sold the idea that sweat is currency, when in reality, direction is the real wealth. And once that thought starts to sink in, everything begins to look different. Because maybe the problem isn't how hard you're working, but what game you're really playing. The hidden system you're playing against. Most people don't fail because they're lazy, they fail because they're playing a game they don't even know exists. The truth is, the modern world doesn't reward effort the way it used to. It rewards leverage, knowing how to make one action produce 10 results. Meanwhile, the system quietly drains those who only trade time for money. It keeps them busy enough to survive, but never clear enough to get ahead. You can see it everywhere. The person who works 60 hours a week, still living paycheck to paycheck, while another earns more in half the time. The difference isn't intelligence or luck, it's awareness of the rules. Those who rise understand how the system really moves, through ownership, not labor, through networks, not isolation, through knowledge, not guesswork. Once you see that, you realize it's not a fair race, it's a maze with invisible walls. And that's the hardest truth to swallow, because no one told you the rules changed. You were taught to run faster, not smarter. But the game now rewards those who pause, analyze, and build tools that work while they rest. Think of leverage as your quiet ally, the multiplier that turns effort into freedom. And once you begin to recognize it, the way you see work, time, and even money will never feel the same again. The power of leverage and smart effort. Leverage is the quiet difference between effort that drains you and effort that frees you. It's what turns hours into outcomes and stress into structure. A freelancer who automates invoices isn't working harder, they're working smarter. An investor who reinvests profits doesn't need more clients. Their money becomes the worker. That's the secret few talk about. Leverage multiplies results while effort alone multiplies fatigue. Think of it like a lever in physics, a simple tool that lets you move more with less force. The same applies to your financial life. Using technology, skills, or systems is leverage. Building a small online course, learning negotiation, or even scheduling automatic investments, all of these are forms of leverage. It's not magic, it's mathematics. You're simply giving your time the power to duplicate itself. Most people never reach freedom because they keep chasing more hours instead of better leverage. But once you realize that every dollar and every minute can be trained to work for you, something shifts. You stop asking, how can I earn more? And you start asking, how can I make what I already earn go further? That's where the transformation begins. When you finally stop running and start building momentum that moves even when you don't. The missing skill: financial clarity. Most people think they have a money problem, but what they really have is a clarity problem. When your financial life feels foggy, every decision becomes emotional. Should I save, invest, or just survive this month? That confusion costs more than any bad purchase ever could. Because without clarity, even good intentions get lost in the noise. You can't win a game you can't see clearly. Financial clarity isn't about spreadsheets or fancy apps. It's about awareness. It's knowing where your money goes, why it goes there, and whether it's moving you closer to peace or further from it. A simple start: track your expenses for 1 month. Write down every dollar. It's uncomfortable at first, but it's like turning the lights on in a messy room. Suddenly, you see what's been holding you back. Clarity isn't judgment, it's truth. Once you see clearly, money stops being an enemy and starts becoming a mirror. You begin to understand patterns: the late night takeouts, the impulse buys, the fear that makes you hoard instead of grow. Clarity gives you control, and control gives you calm. It's the first real dividend your money pays. And once that peace sets in, something inside you shifts, because finally, you're not just working for money, it's starting to work for you. Turning hard work into a system. Hard work without a system is like filling a bucket with holes. No matter how fast you pour, it never fills. Most people rely on motivation to stay consistent. But motivation fades. Systems don't. A simple financial system, automatic savings, recurring investments, monthly reviews, does what discipline can't. It keeps working even when you're tired. The best part? It doesn't require perfection, only setup. Think of it like building a personal autopilot. You don't need to think about saving every week. Your bank does it for you. You don't have to time the market. Your regular investments smooth out the noise. And even small routines, like reviewing your budget on the first Sunday of each month, create structure that protects your goals. It's less about control, more about design. The system becomes your silent partner in progress. And here's the irony. Once your money life runs on systems, you finally get to rest. The mental noise quiets down, and you begin to feel safe. That's when you realize success isn't about working harder. It's about making your effort sustainable. Like a well-built machine, it keeps moving even while you sleep. And once you taste that peace, you'll never want to go back to chaos again. The redefinition of success. For most of life, success looked like hustle. The longer the hours, the greater the worth. But somewhere along the way, that definition started to crack. True success isn't about exhaustion. It's about alignment. It's waking up without panic, knowing your money, time, and choices all move in the same direction. That's when you realize wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in peace. When you stop chasing status and start building stability, something remarkable happens. Life slows down. You no longer compare yourself to others because you finally understand your own lane. Maybe success isn't owning everything. Maybe it's owning your time. And that small shift changes everything. You start saying no to noise and yes to purpose. Because at the end of the day, freedom isn't bought.
It's built. One decision, one system, 1 mile at a time. The goal was never to outwork everyone else. It was to outgrow the mindset that kept you running in circles. And once that clarity settles in, you'll see. Getting ahead was never about the grind. It was about finally understanding the game.